Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you to everyone who filled out that last poll that I posted and helping me choose today's content. So, for those of you who voted, it was a really tight vote. Yesterday, or this morning actually, when I woke up, there was a tie between how do I love myself and how do I forgive myself. And so I posted this morning and I asked you all to vote, and we broke the tie. And so today's video is going to be how do I forgive myself. But I'm actually thinking about doing a video on how do I love myself as well. These are two things that I'm actually going through right now, and so it's kind of hard to give advice, especially when you are actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's probably easier to give this advice, especially because you're going through it. I'm like going through the motions with it myself. So it's hard to go through the situation, but when you're going through it, it's easy to give the advice. So even though the wound is very new, I'm going to go ahead and share some insight with you all. It's a beautiful and cloudy day here in Atlanta, and it's raining very lightly, so it's just a beautiful day. I love it because it kind of matches my mood in a way. So, yeah. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, I think last time with the last video I posted, I started the video with a definition, or I can't remember, but I want to start with a definition again of what does it mean to forgive. So the definition on Google is stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone for an offense, flaw, or mistake. And typically we think of forgiveness as an external action, right? When we think of forgiveness, we're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna forgive them. You know, they did me dirty, but I'm gonna forgive them anyway. I'm one of those people. It's very hard for me to forgive, right? Because I'm just very, you mess with me. I'm kidding. No, but yeah, I don't really have a lot of conflict, but when I do, it's like side eye. So it's very hard for me to forgive people. But just like it's very hard for me to forgive other people, it's very hard for me to forgive myself. And I've noticed that in the past few years, I've been on this journey to really understand some of the emotions that I've been through. I feel like I'm always doing these things in my life where I'm just like, how did I even get here? Like, how did I do this? And so I tend to really hold a grudge against myself when I do something that I think is wrong or that others perceive to be wrong. So I can 100% relate to those of you who are maybe struggling with this in your own lives. But I really wanted to go through the process with you all because this is something that I'm putting into practice myself in my journey to self-forgiveness and healing wounds of the past, present, and, you know, if any of them come in the future, you know, just being okay with this process, right? Because it is a process. It's just like, you know, how to pursue happiness. It's a process. It's not something that happens overnight. So the first thing that I do when I'm on a journey to forgive myself is I, you know, acknowledge and accept what happened, right? I really, sometimes, you know, we try to hide from a situation, or, you know, we try to have a cover up story or make excuses or whatever that might be. But you really have to sit down with yourself and say, okay, this really just happened. You know, this happened and it's real, right? It's what I'm really going through. And so, you know, just sitting down. And I think that going back to, sitting with ourselves, which is very important. Uh-oh, is this separating? Oh no, that's good. So I think that, sitting with ourselves and really seeing the situation for what it is versus making excuses, or even making excuses to make ourselves look better, or, oh, I did this because this. I did this because my family, or I did this because I have an anxious attachment style, or I did this because, right? We always have an excuse for why we do something, but just accept that you did it, right? Don't think about it too much, because honestly, it's just something that we do to make ourselves feel better. And really, this won't allow you to truly reflect, which is the second thing that I feel like you really have to do when you make a mistake, and you're trying to forgive yourself, right? So, reflection is truly understanding, what did you do wrong, right? And why was it wrong? Why was what you did so wrong, right? Why is it having such a negative effect on yourself? Why are you thinking about it so much, right? Because if it was a right thing, if it was something good that you did, you wouldn't be feeling so crappy, right? And you shouldn't be feeling crappy forever, right? Because we're human, we make mistakes, but you have to really reflect and evaluate your life so you can do better, right? Why is this such a weight on your shoulders, right? Understand, you know, the effects of it. Truly affect the effects for yourself, for others, right? Ask yourself those questions, and make sure that when you're asking yourself those questions, you're being honest, right? Don't find an excuse to, make it smaller than what it is, because it's definitely affecting you in some way, because it's something that's disappointing, right? And it's okay, right? It's okay to disappoint yourself, right? That's a part of the human experience. But without reflection, we really can't learn from what we've done so that we can do better, right? The third thing that I think that is important when you're trying to forgive yourself is that when you're in the reflection process, you're being authentic to the reality of what you did and how it affects you, not other people. So I think it's important for you to clear the noise and not think of the opinions of others, right? So for example, let's say you got a DUI or something like that, right? And obviously don't drink and drive. Please don't drink and drive. Whatever you do in this world, don't drink and drive. There's no reason why you should be drinking and driving these days. But anyways, for you and for others, but let's go back to the situation. So you get a DUI, right? Nothing happens to you, no one's hurt, but you get a DUI. You are feeling like crap. But then, in addition to you feeling like crap, you tell your whole family, you tell your friends, and they're all looking at you now like you're crap too. Right? Not necessarily that they think you're crap or anything like that, but they're disappointed too. So now you don't just have the weight of your disappointment, you have the weight of everyone else's disappointment. And then you're thinking, oh, I'm a crappy person. I don't deserve to forgive myself because I'm a crappy person. I literally put other people's lives at risk. People are looking at me crazy. My family hates me. My friends hate me, right? You have all of these things, these weight around you. And then maybe people take that on to themselves, like, oh, it's so embarrassing. This person has a DUI and this is so embarrassing to me, because people make it about them. It's not their life, but they make it about them. And so you make it about you and them, right? So then that weighs on you even more, and it affects how you reflect and how you move forward with the situation, right? And a lot of times we are stagnant in the process of guilt, and we're stagnant in the process of guilt and shame, and we don't allow ourselves to move on because of the weight of others. So I think it's very, very important that you, when you're reflecting and you are really trying to understand what went wrong, why did I do this, what I did was not right, I cannot make an excuse for what I did, why did I do it, and what can I do for myself better in the future so that I don't make this mistake again, right? So ignore the noise, because it's going to be there regardless. But you got to really be like, okay, I'm going to shut you down now. I'm going to lower your voice because I need to think clearly, and I need to do this for my mental health, right? For my recovery. And again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel a level of guilt or shame, because there is a healthy level of guilt and shame, especially when our behaviors and our actions have a very harsh consequence against others and the community around us. But once again, you cannot stay there forever, okay? So again, clear the noise, lower it down. Yeah. So another thing that I think that people have to do when they are in the process of forgiving themselves is practicing gratitude. I know. There are just so many other things that are on your mind. You're like, practice gratitude for what? I am not thankful for this. I'm not thankful for, having a bad experience or something that makes me feel like crap. I don't want to be in this position. Why am I being thankful for it? Right? And I honestly feel like when we go through these turbulent times in our lives, they make us stronger. They make us stronger individuals, not just for ourselves, but for other people. So I like to think that, my life, a lot of the things that I've done, I hope that it is, there's good and bad that I can share with people. And I hope that I can inspire someone to be better, right? I don't, even in my mistakes, I hope that someone can hear my mistakes and say, okay, that was something very tough to go through. Let me heed on the side of caution. Is that the saying? Let me lean or err on the side of caution, right? I don't know. Let me err on the side of caution, and let me go in a different path, right? Because I don't want to go through that pain. I don't want to go through that struggle. And it allows us to be sort of a vessel for wisdom for other people, and allowing them sort of a safe space so that you can sort of give them a guide to life, right? So I think that you should be thankful if you're going through a tough time. I do think that that is what we go through tough times for, and I think we should be thankful for that. I also think that tough times make us more resilient. So even if you make a mistake, it does get you through, and it does make you a stronger person. So give yourself credit, right? Give yourself credit that, hey, I made a mistake, but this is teaching me something, right? And be thankful that it's teaching you something. Be thankful that you're not staying in the mistake, right? Because the whole purpose is not to make the mistake again, right? Making sure that we are not like, oh, yeah, made a mistake. I don't care. I don't care. I didn't hurt anybody. I don't care. Yeah, well, you're hurting yourself, right? And if you don't accept that for what it was, you're not moving forward, right? And really, you know, just being thankful that you got through the situation and you're going to be a better person at the end of the day is a step towards personal healing. Because when we say things like, oh, I don't care, it's fine, I don't care, we're not being real with ourselves, because you do care. And a lot of times we internalize that. And it's hard to sleep at night. It really is. It really is. So the fifth thing that I think you should do when you're forgiving yourself is learn from your mistake. So in order to forgive yourself, you have to truly be sorry, right? You have to be sorry. And in order for you to truly forgive yourself, you have to allow yourself the ability to grow from it, right? Learn from your mistake, right? That reflection piece is super, super important to learning something from it. When you learn something, you're literally growing. You're growing in your spirit, you're growing in your mind, right? If you're reading a book, you're filling yourself with knowledge, right? So same thing when you are getting over a terrible situation and forgiving yourself, right? You're really reflecting on the situation. You are becoming a new person. You're renewing, right? So sit with yourself and learn from the mistake, right? So what does this mean? It means changing our habits, changing our behaviors. So, for example, if you do get a DUI, right? You're not going to keep drinking and driving, right? Maybe you don't even drink anymore, right? Maybe you are like, hey, this is not for me. This life is just not for me. I've had enough, right? I've had enough. Let's say you hurt someone and that person is still hurting, right? And you're like, I can never forgive myself because they haven't forgiven me. You shouldn't wait for someone else to forgive yourself, right? I'm not saying to be reckless and let's say you're hurting someone and you're like, yeah, whatever, I don't care, right? It's not the point. But you also have to allow yourself the opportunity to grow. You know, going through this entire process of, acknowledging and accepting what you did and reflecting on the situation, clearing the noise from what other people think or say, practicing gratitude. Let's say you hurt someone, be thankful that they were a part of your life, that they allowed you to grow, and, learn from the mistake. Don't continue to hurt people, right? Because ultimately it can affect you, it can hurt yourself. But just learn from the mistake, grow from it, help other people understand, like, this is why we don't do this in life, right? This is why, you shouldn't, just going to keep using it, drink and drive, right? We can hurt other people and grow from it and give back to others so that they also do better, right? I was feeling a little color today, so I had to add my Dior. But definitely learn from your situation. Don't stay in one spot, because life is about growth. And you really cannot hold yourself in that one spot forever. Even if other people haven't moved on from it, even if other people still have their shame attached to it, you really have to let go and truly learn from it and move forward. I know it's hard to forgive people. I'm one of those people who it's very hard for me to forgive people, and it's even harder for me to forgive myself. I already said that to you all, but I hope this inspires you to start the process of forgiving yourself for whatever might have happened in your own lives. And another thing that I'll share that I feel like is very helpful for me, and it's, and I've talked about this in my previous video, but I really like reading about things like this. So whenever I'm going through a situation, I like to immerse myself in the topic so I can learn more about it. So online, maybe going in and just typing, forgiving yourself, or, maybe you go on a Reddit page or something like that related to the situation that you're going through to see other people who are experiencing the same thing you're going through. And as a bonus, journaling, right? Journaling about it, getting your thoughts out of your mind, and really reflecting on what it is that you're feeling, okay? Don't keep your thoughts in your mind, express them. I'm so thankful. I have the best group of friends that hold me accountable, but also are really supportive and are understanding, and they are very helpful in allowing me to express myself and raw, authentically. I mean, I don't hold back with how I feel. And I'm also surrounded by a really great family as well that listens to me and hold me accountable. And ultimately, I'm just very thankful that I have that. I know that some people don't have that, which is why it's very important for you all to seek a community. So journaling is a great way for you to do that. Going on maybe a blog post or a Reddit page where, again, you find people who are going through the same thing and talking it through. That way, again, you can start the process. But again, once you have that community, you still have to learn how to clear the noise, because they're still going to have their opinions. And a lot of times, the opinions are a little bit tainted with their own perceptions of your situation and how they negatively affect them, depending on who you're talking to. So just be very careful with that. You have to start being really discerning about that. But really, you do deserve forgiveness. I know that I deserve forgiveness, and I'm working in that process now. And I'll share my journey some more later on whenever I feel comfortable. But yeah, journaling has really helped. And yeah, so this is today's look. I really did something quick and easy because y'all know your girl likes to just do something very simple and fast these days. Maybe one day I'll do something a little bit more dramatic, but I more so wanted to share those tips. I hope that those tips were helpful for you all, and I will link some other content that has helped me to really forgive myself and really start the process. If you liked this content, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you can really receive all of the alerts for whenever I post. So I posted a poll, and thank you to everyone who filled it out. But I'd love to get more of your insight. Let me know in the comments how you forgive yourself. Like, what ways do you all practice self-love and forgiveness? And, what tips do you have for me so that I can incorporate them in my journey? I really would love to hear your thoughts on that. But anyways, I will see you all in the next video. Remember, although makeup can be a self-esteem booster, covering up what's on the outside won't truly heal what's on the inside. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.